Back on Get Up, and one of the big questions in the NBA is where Giannis will be next season on the heels of another frustrating year in Milwaukee. Yesterday on NBA Today, Shams had these comments about how Miami is going to be a team very much in the mix.
The Heat, Pat Riley, it's clear around the NBA when I talk to rival executives, Pat Riley wants his whale, his shark, his tiger, whatever animal you want to use to describe it. At the deadline, they made offers for Giannis Antetokounmpo. They offered Tyler Hero, Khalil Ware, a bunch of draft capital. From my understanding, the Bucks didn't obviously move Giannis, and so they'll be back in the Giannis hunt.
This, of course, before the Heat lost last night, so their season is officially over. Shump, if I say Giannis to the Heat, what's your reaction?
I like it. I definitely like it. I think the Heat play a style of basketball that Giannis could fit in. They don't need him to settle for threes and shoot a bunch of threes, and that's the only knock on Giannis. I think they get up and down, they defend. They play for 48 minutes. It's a good group for him to be around.
Vinny, I've got people telling me, why would he go if his goal is to win? Doesn't feel a lot closer in Miami. Now, they're better than Milwaukee, but doesn't feel like that's a title waiting to happen. What's your reaction?
You'd be trusting the infrastructure of the Miami Heat to surround you with shooting. If you put him and Bam Adebayo together, that means you need three shooters around. The thing about the Heat is they have three tradable first-round picks, including this season. Not everybody has their own draft capital. That's an attractive thing. But if you're Milwaukee, you're going to be expecting young players plus draft capital this season, unless he says specifically, I want to go to Miami, that handcuffs you.
So far, Giannis, and we talked about this the other day, has been hesitant to be the bad guy in all of this. And dictating where he wants to go would certainly be being the bad guy. So let's just play fantasy basketball. Let's put him wherever we want. Give me a place that Giannis could land that, in your opinion, they win the title next year.
Well, fantasy basketball.
You win the title next year?
Win the title next year. Where could Giannis go that all of a sudden now we're going to win the championship? Where are we going?
Well, besides Oklahoma City or someplace like that. But Minnesota, to me, and Minnesota does not have the draft capital. They can only trade 28. This year's pick, the 28, and 2033. They don't have the draft capital. But if you put him with Anthony Edwards, that's the profile of the type of player who is a ball-dominant ball player who can play both ends. And you're not asking Giannis to create everything on offense. You're telling Giannis, be a secondary scorer, a secondary primary scorer, be a facilitator, and be hellacious on defense, as opposed to putting him in a similar situation like he is already in Milwaukee, where he has to do everything.
Yeah.
What do you think? Yesterday you gave me Golden State. You said he and Steph similar. Obviously, Steph and Edwards are not similar players, but the rationale behind that, I think, would be relatively similar as far as what would be required of Giannis. What do you think?
If we're talking about a championship, it's like he said, go over there to OKC.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Could you see that? That would be.
You don't want to be the bad guy, but K did it.
Yeah. Would that be like KD going to Golden State?
Yeah.
KD was able to go to Golden State as a free agent in a weird moment where the salary cap expanded. It was like a very rare perfect storm of circumstances. This wouldn't be that. OKC would have to make a trade in order to get him, right?
Yeah.
Right. Look.
I just meant joining on to a team that don't really need him.
Right, and then there's exactly.
That's what I meant. Like, they can win without him, but if he goes, it's the same.
Okay, let's talk about a team that can't win without him. The New York Knicks. Right? I don't think they're winning the championship this year. And depending on what happens in the playoffs, there could be a heightened sense of urgency to go get him. I just don't know if there's a realistic path right now.
If they get knocked out in the second round by Boston, the Knicks fans are going to be clamoring for Giannis.
Without a doubt.
Would you like it? Would you think that would be?
If they a second round exit?
If they get knocked out by Boston in the second round.
Then I'm part of it. You can go get him. Like, it's on a red alert, you can go get him, because y'all shouldn't be bouncing out in the second round.
Yeah, I think the noise is going to get a lot louder.
Yeah.
We do know these two sides entered into an exclusive negotiating period that we didn't find out about until much later.
Right.
That's how quiet it was. So it's clear that if there's one place he wants to go, it would be the New York Knicks.
Okay, we'll see. The Knicks will begin their playoffs on Saturday against Atlanta. We'll see how long it takes for that one to come to an end. In the meantime, coming up now, I can tell you that what happens this weekend in Vegas.
An appearance facing off against a dynamic young Hornet squad. Loser goes home. Winner plays the loser of the Sixers Magic game. Now, Bam Adebayo, he is no stranger to the play-in, but he's also no stranger to the playoffs. The Hornets, they got some bench guys with playoff experience, Pat Connaughton, Grant Williams, but this is mostly uncharted territory for their starting lineup. With that, let's bring in our three-time NBA champion, our NBA analyst, Danny Green. And all right, Danny, listen, Let's talk about the Hornets because, listen, they shoot the three very well. Top 5 in the league. How do you expect them to come out tonight?
I expect them to come out blazing, excited, adrenaline pumping. This city hasn't seen this in a long time. This is an opportunity for this young group to make something like special happen for this year. They get back in the chance to be in a playoff race. It's been almost a decade or even over a decade. And you got guys like Moussa Diabate pitching in. You know, obviously Brendan Miller, LaMelo Ball, the guys lead the charge. Con Knipple being the glue. Miles Bridges and bench production. Kobe White. This is one of the deeper teams that we've seen in Hornets history for a while. And to be able to make something special happen, they're looking to make some type of historic run like the Miami Heat has done in the past. So I'm expecting a lot of energy in the building. I'm expecting the announcers to be yelling. And I expect a really good game fought by both sides.
Okay, so conversely, let's talk about the Heat. Generally known for their defense, how do you stop this hot Charlotte squad?
I mean, you know, he cultured it. Spo knows what he's doing. It's got to be a chess game, and I fully expect Spo to come in and have a game plan and some philosophies to slow that group down. But for me, it's the bench production. If they're starters, I don't know who they are starting, but if those other guys can come in and pitch in, like Larson, like, you know, who else they have over there that's coming off that's playing really well? Khalil Ware. You know, they have so many different guys that can give you different numbers. Jaime Jaquez, who's a 6-man-a-year candidate. There's so many different guys that can do different things. Obviously, we expect Norman Powell, we expect Bam Adebayo, we expect Tyler Hero to put up good numbers, but those other guys are really the ones that need to step up and pitch in a lot when it comes to this team trying to overcome a Charlotte Hornets, you know, hot buzzing team.
Yeah, them unsung heroes sometimes make a difference, especially in the postseason. Okay, Danny, hang tight here. Second thing you need to know is the other play-in game. The Trailblazers visit the Suns to decide the 7th seed. Winner gets a date in the first round against Wemby and the Spurs. Will the loser? They face the winner of the Clippers-Warriors in a win-or-go-home scenario on Friday. Phoenix, by the way, went 2-1 in the 3 regular season games against the Blazers. And 2 of the hottest scorers in the league face off in this 7 versus 8 game. You got Devin Booker. He averaged 31.7 points per game in the last 6 games of the regular season. That's second best behind Victor Wembanyama. And then you got the Blazers and Deni Avdija, who ranked 5th in scoring since March 30th. Okay, Danny, so besides these 2 scores, give us a player basically on each team that could take over and make a difference tonight.
You know me, man, I'm very biased toward the other guys. As you can see, I talked about the bench with other groups. And these groups, I'm going to talk about those X-Factor guys. And for the Phoenix Suns, I'm looking at Dillon Brooks. I think he's the X-Factor for that group. He brings a chip on his shoulder. Guys like him, you know, Royce O'Neal, Colin Gillespie. Obviously, Jalen Green is very special, and Devin Booker is going to be special. The star is going to come out to play. But Dillon Brooks and company, those guys are going to have to be the ones that kind of change the pace or change the momentum sometimes in this game and win you a game. So I fully expect Devin Booker to have 30+. I fully expect, you know, Deni Avdija to score. But for Portland, they're going to need guys like Toumani Camara to step up and knock down shots. Drew Holiday. Like, those 2 guys, to me, are when they're playing high-level defense and also knocking down shots, makes Portland very dangerous. And Toumani Camara has put together a really good season thus far and should be an all-defensive team type of guy. And offensively is somebody that can stretch the floor and also change the game with his shooting.
By the way, the Suns are a slight favorite, 3.5, according to DraftKings Sportsbook. Danny Green, thank you, my brother.
Thank you.
All right, third thing you need to know. Steph Curry will be on a minutes restriction in the team's play-in game against the Clippers in Los Angeles. That comes your way on Wednesday. Warriors head coach Steve Kerr said Sunday that Curry, Kristaps Porzingis, Al Horford all will play fewer than 40 minutes. Draymond Green spoke about Curry earlier today on NBA Today.
If this is Steph's last year, you're like, screw it, man. Like, forget the minutes restriction. Let's just give it all we got. This isn't Steph's last year.